Hey babe, what you doing?
This is a bonus tip. Do not put your through holes in with 5200. What you think is permanent might not be. Yeah, it won't come off. We need to remove that because they did it wrong and we don't need it anymore. And now I have to get off the floor.
What do you think?
Yeah, 5200 is...
You can't say that on YouTube.
Okay.
Here's the thing. 5200 is what a lot of people uses for through holes. And I still hear it. I still hear it on forums. I'm no expert. I do have a tendency, though, to go along with the guy that owns the website marinehowto.com. He's got a lot of really good articles. He's fairly well respected. He recommends, I think it's 4200 instead of 5200 because inevitably at some point a through hole is going to have to be replaced. It's going to have to be replaced because it's corroded and broken, or it's going to have to be pulled out because you don't need it anymore. And the 5200 is so permanent. Now the problem with the through hole we have in here is not as much that it's corroded or anything. The problem is it was installed improperly. It needs to have a seacock, a proper seacock that has a flange on the bottom of it that's bolted through to the hole to secure it to take the loads in case it ever has something fall against it, in case we fall through the floor and step against it, so we don't break it off. And this one, just the through hole has a nut on it, and then the other problem is it is also a national straight thread, meaning that the threads on the through hole are straight. And the fitting that they had screwed on top of it is a tapered pipe thread. So straight thread, tapered thread don't mate together, first of all. So eventually that was going to leak or break off at that joint. And then the next thing is they had a couple fittings mounted to that along with a ball valve. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. You include the pipe in the middle here. All of those have a possibility of being broken. But imagine as well, if you hold it like this, babe. Hold that together. This comes up through the boat and then over. And if I put some weight here, if I put 30 pounds of pressure right here, because I have like a 6-inch long lever right there, so to speak, I actually have more than 30 pounds there. And I don't know what the math is, but I'm going to say it's probably 3 to 4 times that. It could be like 100, 150 pounds right here on that one little joint right there, if I put it out here. So, you know, I don't know who it was. Galileo, I think, said that he could move the world if he had a long enough lever and the right fulcrum, right? So, fulcrum, lever. So, yeah, it's a problem. And so we had to pull this out to do a proper through hole. And the 5200 they have this sucker put in incorrectly with is not letting it go to get it out. And that is a nightmare.
So?
The nut is free. So this is it. Interesting. It has a little brass or a little bronze nut, probably to allow you to lubricate the threads, but they're so plugged up with 5200 it doesn't get through. So we got it off. We actually, when we were in at West Marine yesterday, I saw they had this little teeny can of debonder for $40. Said I'm not going to buy that. Did some research online and people said it worked, people said it didn't work. But I decided to go with another idea, and that was some heat. Obviously, you can't heat fiberglass up too much or you have a problem, so you got to be careful, but I have a heat gun, and by just gently working around the nut, I got the nut warm enough that it softened the 5200 enough for me to, as I'm spinning it, to get it to break the bond free, until I could get it up high enough to where it would start spin off on its own. So now the through hole is still stuck inside the hole with 5200 all around it. So I'm probably going to have to get a puller to pull it out through the back of the hole, but the nut is off. That's the step one.
No 5200.
Tuesdays Tech Tips with Tammy. No 5200. See you later.
Bye-bye.